Welcome to the big interview. My name is Nana Osatifo, and I'm so grateful. This section of the big interview is to do with one of the greatest technocrats I've known since growing up in London, United Kingdom. And I'll tell you what, he's been a partner in progress. He's an exciting guy, an IT consultant, and also a specialist athletics management back home in the motherland after, of course, being in London for a while. Of course, he decided to go back home and help build the motherland, and I'm so grateful to have him here today. I'll be talking to him about, his own, what's happening, going back home, how does it compare back home, and then the UK as well, having both sides of the world in terms of the studies, the living standards and all that. And then we'll look at the athletics bit as well. All right, so don't forget to like, share, and of course subscribe. Make sure your brother, sister, of course family members enjoy this program, because we are all about information, education, entertainment, and of course enlightenment. Sir Andrew Peter, welcome to the big show.
Thank you for bringing me.
Well, what can I say? I mean, it's been a while though.
Yes, it's quite been a while.
Yes, we are so grateful to have you. I'm just so excited, and growing up in London, running around, creating things and running things. You've been part of it, apart from your academic prowess, and your IT work, you still have time to be part of the community, running the radio station and serving the community, selfless service. I remember all this, and I'm so grateful to see you back from Ghana. So how does it feel?
Well, it feels great. Things are changing here very quickly, unlike back home when things are a bit slow. But anytime I come, I see very progress, in various areas. But yes, it's good to come back.
Great stuff. So back in the days in London, the community radio, the community television, you being part of it and all that, the IT bits, you setting up all these gadgets. Did you miss it when you went to Ghana?
Oh yes, I mean it was a different kind of environment. Nothing is very straightforward in Ghana, but sometimes you feel like you want to be back, but then life goes on. So wherever you find yourself, you make progress.
It's true, it's true, it's true. So since you've been back in the motherland, and then, when I say you really miss us, because some of us, we get to the motherland and we want to run back. How was it when you first got to the motherland?
Well,
was it easy or
it was very difficult.
Yes.
The difference, obviously, is the fact that over here, systems work. You can't take anything for granted. Back home, it's a bit chaotic, but you need to tune your mind if you've gone to stay and try and make do with what you have and see how you can improve the system as far as improve yourself. But yes, we do what we have to do to basically make us survive.
Yes. So, having lived there and of course also studied here, and you go back, you find the situation a bit, more, we need improvement. Definitely we need improvement. Why do you think sometimes we have difficulty in just obeying the normal zero tolerance of the rule of law? Do you think if we really focus on that, maybe things might change?
Yeah, it's all about putting systems in place. I think that for here, they've come to learn that, you know, you can't change, you know, humans manually, but if you put systems in place, the systems will change people. So in Ghana, we haven't been able to, you know, do that. Some corporate organizations have tried to put systems in place, and it's kind of tuned the people, put the people in line. So that is what I think we are lacking. But gradually, I think whilst we are growing, we would be able to live to that expectations. But then, yes, it's been difficult. Our mentality is a bit of a difficult one, but yes.
But what about the law enforcers? Do you think if they enforce it, probably with this zero tolerance of the rule of law, things might work?
Yeah, enforcement has always been an issue, as I've seen in Ghana. All the things are in place, but enforcement
and the implementation,
has always been an issue. I think we need, and I always say that it's a leadership thing. If you get the right people in leadership and they want to enforce things, then it would work. So
there's a saying that if a fish will rot, it actually starts from the head.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with you, you know, and we need to find a way to, you know, sort those things out. Aside that, it must be a very interesting and very, should I say, pleasant and entertaining place, because when I visited, I could see that the entertainment section and the happiness, in spite of those shortcomings, people are always happy, moving about, and the noise. Andrew, how did you cope with the noise?
Ghana is wonderful. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, you kind of have time for everything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, unlike here, it's
everybody's serious.
Everybody's serious. You know, sometimes I'm walking in town as I've come back and I'm looking, I say, was I really here? You know.
There's something I really want to say as well. You know, you get up in the morning in Ghana, you just want to have a stroll or something, and everybody who meets you on the road, especially the youth, good morning, good morning. Yeah. Good morning. I mean, very pleasant people.
Oh yeah. I mean, we
but here, your neighbor will not even say good morning to you. Yeah. People on the train are always serious. You can't. I mean, that's two different contexts, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, like I'm saying, everybody sees everyone, and you have to say hello. Even in traffic, when you're driving, you look at people and they say hello to you. You smile. So it's a bit of a, you know, a relaxed environment.
It's a relaxed and a happy country.
Yeah. The quality of life is kind of cool. You know.
So all we need to do is get the rule of law working.
Yeah.
And also we need some transparency, accountability, probity, balance checks from the very top. And probably it will be one of the nicest countries in the world.
Yes, wonderful. It's all about, like I said before, it's about leadership. If you get the leadership right, trickle down. All the structures are in place, and we need to make it work.
Great. So now, where does Andrew Agbo Kita comes from?
Well, I have a 50-50 affiliation. My dad comes from Ada, Greater Accra, and my mom comes from Buri. So
that's a very good combination.
Yeah.
Powerful combination. So that's from Aburi,
yeah.
And then Dadangbe. Wow,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So growing up, how was school like back home before embarking to London?
Well, I mean, I started my basic education in Cape Coast.
In Cape Coast?
In Cape Coast. It was John Mensah Saba School.
Oh, I heard that's the famous historical figure. Yeah.
So my dad, being an educationist, was transferred to Cape Coast, and we all have to
Oh,
follow.
okay. Your dad was.
An educationist, yeah.
Oh, so you moved
He
around.
moved
a lot.
around.
Yeah.
At the time he moved to Cape Coast, we had
So
to.
now I now know where the brain box came from. So you
Oh.
took it from your dad.
Well, yeah. And he was a brain sharp, you know. So
Yes.
he actually taught at the start of college. I don't believe that my dad was teaching. Is it Greek or one of those? And mathematics.
Wow.
So.
You must be very sharp.
Yeah. And so then from there came back to Accra, and then did the common entrance. And because of his Nkrumah type mentality, none of us went to all the big schools. Even though he went to the big school, he wanted all of us to be in the Nkrumah school. So I ended up in Stradio Secondary School, which is the first Nkrumah school of those era.
Okay.
Yeah. So then from there, I went into
Is that the one they call the Swiss school?
Swiss school, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's a popular school.
Very,
Yeah.
it's a very good school as well. I mean, it made me who
Yeah.
I am. It gave me the basic. And then from there, I went to tech.
Yeah.
I studied physics there.
But when you say tech, those of our audiences and viewers across the globe might say, what is tech?
So KNUST, now they call it, but it was, we call it.
Okay, so viewers, that is Kwame Nkrumah University,
Yeah.
which is in Ghana.
Yeah.
So when it says tech or KNUST,
Yeah.
that's it means
What it
that
means,
the Kwame Nkrumah University, which is in Ghana.
Mm.
And so, before we look at the London, let's look at some of the good things you did at Swiss School before the university. Were you playing football? Were you
Yeah.
an athlete, or were you? And then, what position also did you
Okay.
held at those bad days at Swiss School?
Well, in Swiss school, I was an all-rounder. I did basketball, I did a bit of football, but my main forte was athletics.
Wow. So what event were you running?
So I was a sprinter, 100 meters, 200. In
Really?
fact, I got discovered in Form 2
Really?
those days. The headmaster decided to just do all run. I did, and at the time I kind of had very close contacts with the school champion, and immediately I was drafted into the school team.
From Form 2?
Yeah, Form 2. And
You
then
must be very fast.
I was fast, So we went to first interco at Winneba,
Wow.
and I was first.
Really?
This is Zone B, Central Region.
Wow.
At Form 3, I was blowing everybody away, and then it went on and on and on, and eventually I ended up in the national team, academicals.
So you ran for academic?
Yes, and then I went in the national team.
Wow.
And then in 1984, I joined the national team to Los Angeles, African Championship.
Really?
And that's how come my athletics. So Swiss school was how actually brought me up into athletics. Yeah.
I see. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you became a star, and as a star, it comes with those pet treatment from the headmaster, and you were one.
Yeah, in school, when you are an athlete, you get all the nice
The
food
perks and stuff.
and all the
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So
But did that kind of affect your education a bit or not? Because you still advanced to the university. You
I think
you must have done very well.
I think I could have done better, but athletics went into my head a little bit.
Okay.
Some of the things, competitions. In fact, my dad didn't even know I was running.
He
in
would have
school.
stopped
He
you.
would have stopped me.
Yeah,
I remember we went to regionals in Ho, and I didn't know my dad was going to be. It's Ghana Education Service, and he was the director of budget and planning Ghana. So all budgets in sports and things. So he actually came there to do a presentation. And I had done the 100 meters and I had won the competition.
I see.
And he was sitting down there, not knowing his son.
you.
His son was there, and he was shocked. He was like, he thought his son was in school. And oh yeah.
But you were in school.
I was in
it's through school
but,
that brought you there. Yeah,
you know,
I understand. Yeah. So how was his reaction?
Well,
later?
there he didn't basically, because I didn't get to, interact with him then. But then from there we're going home. Like we have to vacate and go home, and that's when I got my scolding. I had
was he kind of impressed with the win? Because
well, you see, he was somebody who would not show happiness in front of you, but I'm sure he would go and brag somewhere.
Definitely.
Yeah, so
that's great.
Yeah.
So with the school in Tako and all the regionals and academicals, why is Ghana not progress into the main Olympics? And I'm not saying they've never attended. I'm just saying, like, when you talk about athletics, sometimes the first countries that come to your mind is Jamaica when it comes to sprints, which you do.
Yeah.
And then you have America, and then you have the other European countries coming in. And when you talk about the long distances, you talk about Kenya and all the rest. What is wrong with the Ghanaian sports?
Well,
and other Pan-African countries, basically, yeah.
I think that we could have, I can talk about in the past, before we even came into limelight, you have the ones before us who have done the Commonwealth, they've won all sort of things. Ghana was very, very prominent in athletics some years back. But like you're saying, there's been a deterioration. In my time, we came up a little bit, not that we won Olympic medals, but any major competitions you see Ghanaians in there. Things have changed a little bit because we have not basically built upon it.
And that's very sad.
And that's very sad. But it's all because we haven't, enacted talents.
Okay.
The talents are there. I mean, I see talents every day.
Nobody cares.
But we don't have the
progression
of we used to have intercore in the schools. Unfortunately, the school system has changed a bit, in fact, a lot. We used to have 5 years. I started running when I was in Form 3, Form 2, Form 3, right through to 6th Form. So the continuity was there. Now, SHS, 3 years, you're out. So you won't get the continuity. I mean, it's now that the universities have got in, so when they pick, you are in 3rd year and you are good in sports, they give you scholarship and then you continue from there. You get a bit more continuity in the university.
So it means that we need to look at the mechanisms,
the structure,
how systems in place, and all that.
I mean, what Ghana Athletics is doing at the moment is that we need to try and, it's either the state goes back to the original system where we have at least 5 years of continuous, where the athletics and sports would be, continuous, or we find a way around the current system. And what Ghana Athletics is doing is basically to try and put a system in place called NISAC. It's not, in Ashanti region, they're able to maintain the enthusiasm and standards that, which is very, very impressive. It hasn't, gone to the other regions. But what Ghana Athletics is doing from this year going is what we call NISAC, National Inter-Schools Athletics Competition. So some schools within the regions will be selected, and they will come and compete in Accra or and then the talents will be basically grabbed and then camped for a year or so, and then try and give them continuity. Those who get scholarships to the US will organize, will help them to get scholarships and then continue from there.
It's something that the country as a whole needs to have a look at it, because if you mention sprints, first thing that comes to your mind is Jamaica.
Yeah.
And that's put Jamaica onto the world map.
Yeah.
And I'm sure and equally sure that people like you who have put the map of Ghana into the world, because you were doing the international competitions and other things, the continuity should have continued. And this is something that let me speak to the camera. I think, Mr. President, you've got lots of work to do. I understand you had an overwhelming win during the general elections, and Voice of London Television, in conjunction with our sister station, Voice of London Radio, would like you to have a look at Ghana athletics, and also if the state can actually have a budget for them so that they can reorganize this sector, really, because that can put the image of Ghana, that can brand Ghana, you know, and take Ghana, the image of Ghana globally, you know. So I think this is something that we need to be looking at. And we'll also personally try and write to the office of the president to take this thing serious. So now you are in management as well.
Yeah. So I think that the way, one of the things that I believe President would seriously about looking into is sports financing, and I believe that the choice of the new minister is a positive thing. We haven't met him yet, but from all the things that he has said.
So who's been giving the sports?
Honorable Kofi Adams.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he's very switched on, and
Kofi Adams seems a very serious person as well.
Yes,
I see that.
Yeah. So hopefully things are going to change. We're going to meet him sooner or later, and we're going to put our proposals on board, and I'm sure, you know, things are going to change very quickly.
That'll be very nice
in that aspect. Yeah.
So that we can start having the Usain Bolt's progressions.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I must say that the talent is there. I mean, if you look at even the recent successes in terms of Azamati and the others.
Yeah, we saw internationally the sprints.
Yeah.
Those boys did very well.
You know,
even the
100 meters, the sprints,
100 and all those ones,
You know, they start off very slowly, tend to, and then they go to within 6 months in the US, they are running sub 10, you know, and you know, but the only thing is the continuity, even when I are there.
But the continuity is still to do with planning,
state
budgets,
all that. So those are things we want to basically discuss with. We had a proposal in the previous regime, and they basically didn't look at it.
So with your experience, and also having lived in London for a while, what do you see different from the way our athletes are treated? You yourself being a top-notch athlete, and now you are in management. What do you see we can do different? I know you've mentioned some few, but seriously, in the shortest possible time, to be able to have these young guys coming through, you know, men and women in Ghana, ladies and gentlemen coming through, and showcasing brand Ghana.
Well, see, in the past, I mean, we were doing very well in terms of the academicals. So you get the talent, and you keep the talent in-house. You basically give them continuity, and so on and so forth. I mean, things have changed a little bit, because currently the youth that we have haven't got time. You know, our time, we weren't doing it because we wanted money. You know, everybody is, because football has basically, you know, taken over in terms of the financial benefits. Athletics is not that, even though we can make athletics very financial beneficial for.
So these are some of the proposals.
Yes, so these are the things, we are looking at.
Because even I'd like to also to mention that currently when you look at the global world, athletics or sports have become more financial, with financial benefits, really. So when you look at the NBA, the amount of money they are making there, you know, all these guys, you know, LeBron James and all the other guys, you know, they're making money, and that is putting the American brand out there when it comes to sports. Just athletics, and they become millionaires. They put it in there. I think it's not about money, but at least with you being management, you need to look at all these things.
Yeah. So we are working, but we can't do it ourselves. We have to get government
Yes,
support.
indulgence. Yeah,
Indulgence.
definitely,
So
definitely.
yeah. So, and again, like I was saying before, sponsorship in terms of sports plays a big role when it comes to athletics and other sports. The sponsorship space is very small. You always find the same companies sponsoring athletics and all the other federations.
Yeah.
But then they always look at what they can get out of it. So it's a bit of hard work there, but the government has basically to get involved in even getting sponsorship. And I think that the sponsorship has to be centralized. So government actually supports the companies.
And I totally agree with you, because if government is in control and we are able to have the system working with government indulgence and the sponsorships are coming in, then I think Brand Ghana or Brand Africa can go far. Can go very far. That's great. That's great. I'm really, really passionate about the athletics, because all year round there are athletic competitions across the whole globe. To the extent that you have every month or every week I could see competitions there. So I think we from that part of the world need to take the bull by the horn and make things happen, because we can't continue and sit back and everything that we want to do unless we look at Europe, America. I think that we can do better with the population there. When you look at the Pan-African population, it's almost about 1.5 billion. Can you imagine? So we can look at it properly, and I'm glad you are in management. You've been there, you've done the running, you've contested, you've won medals. I mean, so you know the shortfall and the weaknesses and things that we can do to strengthen those ones so that we can get results. So that Brand Africa, Brand Ghana, can come through. And I tell you what, I'm afraid if we get it right, we might leave the world behind without them getting any medals.
We've
because Africa can run. Because the Lions chase.
we've got a good start. For a start, per the African the championships that we had, we're able to get athletics was able to get world class athletics podium, world standard, and then we organized the athletics so well that all the African countries were very happy that we did that well. So in fact, immediately.
So this took place in Ghana?
In Ghana.
So that's right.
I think we won a lot of medals there just before the Olympics. But then after that, the African Federation, World African Athletics Federation, basically decided that they want to give us the chance to run the African Championship Athletics in 2026. So we are actually going to host the...
And what year is that?
2026, this next year.
Really? That's great.
Yeah, so we have a very big program coming up. And hopefully it's going to be one of the biggest and successful.
And one of the things is that, with a world standard stadium that we have, that's the Lego one.
Yes.
So that can be done then.
Oh yeah. I mean that's the reason why we won the bid to.
Oh, I see.
Run it.
So it means, but because with athletics, most of the events can be held in one stadium, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's just one stadium. It's everything is, That's why I said it's a world class.
Yes. World class.
All the competitions.
And then, so let me then look at this. We've got this world class stadium now. Are we going to be able to maintain it?
Well, the good thing is it's managed by Legon. So, Legon is an
and
academic.
they also have their sports staff.
Yeah, but then it's because it's an academic institution, there are certain systems in place. So hopefully it would be looked after very well.
Okay, we need to pray for that. Because I remember also, jogging back our memories back, I know you were in London then, 2000, the year 2000, when President Kufuor came into power. Ghana built a lot of stadia.
Yeah, they built the Esipon Tamale.
So with all these millions of US dollars facilities built across the country, what happened to them?
For maintenance, you know.
No, but what is wrong with those in power?
That is what I said, is leadership. You know, you put people in leadership positions and they are supposed to work, and somehow they go to sleep.
And you know why I'm bringing this up? Because recently, I understand the national team couldn't even get a stadium to play.
Yes, because none of the stadiums were the Football Association, what's it called?
Not up to standard.
Wasn't up to standard. So they came, they looked at it and said, we can't play football.
And I heard Ghana might have to go to the next neighbor country.
Nigeria or Togo
ridiculous.
or something. So, but then somehow...
These leaders need to bow their head in shame.
Accra Sports Stadium, it was a standard stadium. And unfortunately, they spent a lot of money to refurbish it and it's still not up to standard. You know, one thing that they did so bad that they took when they took the tracks from Accra Sports Stadium. And
it was also an athletic track.
Yes, Accra Sports Stadium was built specifically for athletics. The land was given to, you know, for athletics. And somehow when that competition, the African Cup competition was done, they decided to remove the tracks. So one of the things we are going to try and do is to try and see if government can come in and bring back the tracks, because it was very central.
Well, the government has got no choice. It has
central,
to, because for the sake of the people and for the sake of the nation and for the sake of the African continents.
Yeah.
Because I think the selfishness is too much. And some of us need to look at this nitty-gritty of things. You understand? Radio and television is not all just about headlines and running away with. It's about looking at all these minor issues and then rectifying them.
But I mean, whilst I'm actually on this platform, is, you know, I always use the opportunity to basically appeal to the current minister and especially the president to look at bringing back the tracks to the Accra Sports Stadium again. It is very key. You know, a lot of our athletes have done very well because of Accra Sports Stadium. Right now, we don't have, apart from Legon, which recently came up, we don't have any stadium where, you know, athletes can train. We used to have LWAC. LWAC is nothing to write home about, and people cannot trek. In fact, Legon is not open to training unless you want to use their warm-up tracks. You know, so we need to look at. It's a plea. It's something that we're going to formally write to the minister and the powers that be to look at again. Incidentally, I just need to mention that I'm also the president of the Past Athletes Association of Ghana.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that is another. You know, we're having our 15th anniversary in August.
So that will be in Accra.
You'll be in Accra. So
wow, that's great.
So
that's great. So I also like to echo to what our good friend, Mr. Andrew Agbo Kecha is saying. So, Mr. President, I know you will have a look at this clip. We are pleading with you. We'll also be writing to you. We need to do a follow-up. And we believe that the athletics tracks to Accra Sports Stadium, also refurbishing LWAC Stadium, the Legon one, as we know, is not open for training, and athletes need training. They need to train to deliver the goods.
Yes.
Without training, how are you going to deliver the goods? So we need all these facilities, including other regions. And then we need to look at the one Kufuor did. Why was it left to rot? I don't get it.
I mean, Kumasi has been very lucky because they still have the tracks stadium. They still have the tracks there, so that's why we have.
That's why they are coming
up. Yeah, because a lot of the guys that are coming up are from the Asante region, because you know.
So that's the Baba Yara Stadium.
Baba Yara Stadium. Yeah.
Okay.
But I must you know commend the Asante region. They are just passionate. I mean, the next NISAC we're going to do, we have to do
Yeah.
it in Kumasi because
Okay.
the bars is still there. You know.
Great,
Yeah.
great. That's interesting. So, it's been. I'm so passionate about athletics, you know, and I'm glad that we looked at this particular area of sports because most times it's been nobody talks about it and it's left and it's always like football, you know, and even with the football, it's also deteriorated,
Yeah.
you know. And we need to look at all this. And I think that if it can be managed well, organized well, system in place, government supports, the football, athletics, and other sports will take, you know, such a huge, you know, interest and enthusiasm that is just going to shape Africa and Ghana as well. So,
But I think that, like I've said before, it's leadership. And I think that we've got the right leadership in Kofi Adams, Honorable Kofi Adams. And I'm just hoping that that would bring the results to bear. Because
Yeah.
all you need is making sure that things happen. And having known Kofi Adams' modus operandi, he will make it happen.
yeah, the Kofi Adams, I think, is a very serious guy. I
Yeah.
see him as a very serious guy,
Yeah.
yeah. Was he one time the spokesperson for Papa
Yes.
J?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So is him.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So Kofi Adams, please, we are pleading with you. Come to the aid of the athletics section of sports. Okay. Also, you are in leadership. Make a difference. Let's sing praises for you from far away London. Okay, and so that our athletes can showcase brand Africa and brand Ghana. Okay, we know Kofi Adams, and of course the president, who is having a reset in this particular term of office, is going to make sure that sports in general, including athletics, come to the forefront. Powerful, and I know we'll all be clapping and very happy. You know.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So Andrew, let's turn our attention to London now. You've been involved in athletics in a big way. You know, you came to London, you studied, you became an IT consultant. Why didn't you continue with the sports when you were in London?
Well, actually,
You could be running for Great Britain.
well, I actually started when I actually came to, in fact, we had gone to Kobe. I came to London with an injury, a knee injury.
Oh, okay.
I started training at Crystal Palace. In fact, I was under the coaching of Frank Dick. Frank Dick was
Yeah, I
then
remember the name.
the national coach. So I started training there, and I think at one point, the effect of the knee injury started showing up.
Oh,
You know, so questions were asked, and obviously, at the time, medical, I wouldn't be able to qualify for
for the
medical.
medical.
So
Okay.
his advice was just stay out for 6 months
And see if
and
you
see the
heal
heal naturally, and then but 6 months I couldn't wait. So that's how come. But I was doing so well. I remember it was winter when I came, so it was indoor time, and we were doing 40 meters and things, and I was blowing everybody at the time.
Really?
Even with the injury,
Wow,
but then
wow.
obviously it became very obvious that I had an injury.
Probably it kept inflaming
Inflaming,
it, the injury.
I had to take bar out and go academia. So that's what happened.
Wow, that's great to know. What a story. That's a very interesting story. Yeah. So you go into the IT, you then actually ran a school in South London. Tell us about that. How did that happen?
Well, I mean, the IT part was quite, I think it was just a decision I took because I wanted to go into hospital engineering because I did physics for my first degree. But then...
That's a brain box,
Yeah, so hospital engineering was on my mind, but then obviously the system was so closed. Go and do a master's and come back, go and do practicals and come back and all of that. And then I decided to go into IT.
Okay.
I did the postgraduate diploma, electronics, and then that pushed me into IT. Got my first job, started working, and then I got certifications and all of that. And I started working. But at some point, because I had become quite, reasonably successful, I decided to basically, and I had a passion for imparting knowledge to other people. So I decided to set up a school, IT school, and the rest is history. I helped a lot of our people to get into jobs. I'm sure if they are watching, they will be saying, anytime I come to London, anytime I come to London, I get a lot of calls, and people want to come and see me and do whatever they have to do and all of that. So that's how it happened. But then, I got opportunity to go back to Ghana to work for Vodafone, and then I decided to, take it back home.
Before we talk about the Vodafone and you're going back to the motherland, when you started the school and helping many people, you just didn't leave it there. You also was part of the rebranded Afrique Radio, community radio in London, which is now Voice of London Radio and Voice of London Television, fixing all the computers and helping run the station.
Well,
so you can't be economic with those community works you did.
The point is that
we go back a long way.
We go back a long way,
yes.
And you see, those days, the very radio stations were very hostile to the NDC as a party, or as a, so. And being a member of the NDC, in fact, I was quite deep in NDC. So I kind of related with, we had to do something to try and get our voice heard.
Sure.
And that's how come,
you became passionate.
I'm passionate about
the
community radio.
Stuff, yes.
And then it's been all good. And today I'm sitting here and I'm watching myself on something that we started, and it's very, very nice.
Yes.
We
are grateful.
We've
don't flatter me now.
You come a long way.
We've come far.
Very far.
We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Great. Unbelievable.
Nana Osagyefo Kuntunkulu.
Represent.
Yes. Yeah.
So now Vodafone. You got a good deal.
Yeah, Vodafone. Actually, it was, the initial deal was not directly with Vodafone. It's a company called Ostec, which Ostec was owned by another, partner then of mine. Yeah. Jonathan, if you're looking.
Oh yeah, Jonathan.
I'm talking about you, and then from there, Vodafone basically decided to take me on permanently. And then from there, worked for a while from there, and then I just switched to Selfline as well. So Selfline was a startup. I was part of the people who built up the Selfline infrastructure. Then finally moved on to SNIT. So currently.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a nice journey though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've done well for yourself, and very proud of you.
Yeah.
Yes, very, very proud of you. So when you went back to Ghana, and obviously Vodafone, then you went to Selfline and SNIT. That must be some good job, man.
Well, it's good. It's not as good as being in earning in UK, but
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
For the Ghanaian system, it's reasonable. But don't forget, the IT training was going on as well, weekends, part-time. So I was still doing, and I'm still doing it. That's because like I'm saying, I like imparting knowledge to people, especially the youth. It's something that is going on at the moment. So it's good.
That's great. I think it's been a successful journey for you, and you've done very well. And we've all benefited from your talent, skill as well, because I remember I'll call you and say, come on, Andrew, the computers is not working. You can't become, you know. And then you were there straight away. You know, okay, Nana, when I finish, I'll be there. Then you come over, you fix them. So I'm so glad to see you here. You know,
yeah. And I'm happy. Any time I come to the studio, I'm saying, this guy, man.
It's ours, not me.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, you are holding the fort. You are holding the fort. But I'm hoping that we are taking this whole concept
to a different dimension.
To Ghana. We'll have one of the biggest radio station, TV station, and it's going to happen very soon. So Ghana, watch out.
Yes. So Ghana, watch out, like Andrew said. On that note, we would like to thank Mr. Andrew Agbo-Kicha for passing through. So how long are you staying for?
Not very long.
Not very long. Okay. Yeah. So as usual, I said to you, now it goes and comes, but resident now more in Ghana. Okay, and he's doing wonderful work there as well. He's also in the management of the athletics board. Yes, and so we're looking, all of us, because we are also going to be involved. We'll be also interjecting with you, sending you the software and the link. So we'll be talking to you live to continue the pressure on government to get involved, to change the whole athletics, sports, including the football, so that, and then also to maintain the various stadia so that we can have a very good and healthy sports. Yeah. And then we also thank you for the IT. You are still impacting the IT knowledge to people, and that is good. So Andrew, once again, thank you for passing through. Any last words, and what would you say to the youth who want to get into athletics?
Well,
and any other sports?
What advice would you
give them from your experience?
Sports, I would say, has done me well. It's been a very nice journey for me, and because of sports, wherever I go, I hear my name. Oh, I know you somewhere. It's been very good. So, if you have the talent and you have the faith, you can basically take it seriously. It can take you very far. And don't just take sports. Also, make sure your academic prowess is also taken care of, because once you finish the sports, you have to still survive, and that is very, very important. Yeah. So that's what I can say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andrew Agbo-Kicha. We are grateful. Voice of London Television in the heart of the City of London, United Kingdom. Thank you for passing through, and we are going to support that worthy cause that you guys are embarking on. Once again, thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah.